Hi, I'm Adam Smith, and I'm one of the co-founders of Wrangle, and we help companies make Slack more productive by helping them manage recurring approval requests and help tickets that they get from other teams in their busy Slack channels. Today, I'm going to take you through our workflow designer, and it lets you create new workflows in just a few minutes and then launch and monitor those workflows all in Slack. And by workflows, I mean recurring team-to-team critical processes like bug reporting, employee onboarding, IT requests, sales quote approvals, facility tickets, marketing collateral approvals, and a lot more. But today, let's create our own new flow, and maybe we'll do a vendor approval workflow. And so to do it, I go to the Wrangle app in Slack, and that'll be in your Slack workspace as soon as you or someone else installs Wrangle. If you don't see us, you can go to your apps, browse those apps, and add us. I happen to have it starred here. Once you open the app, you'll see you'll have a couple tabs. This is an informational tab. We'll message you from time to time. And then there's the home tab, and that's where most of the action happens. We'll show you in other videos that there are different things you can do with this app. I happen to be in the My Workflows view where you can monitor all your different workflows and dive into each one of them. And we'll take you through that in detail along with other things you can do. But today we're going to focus on creating a new approval workflow. So I'm going to click this button, and Wrangle is going to walk me through step by step everything I need to do to create a workflow in a few minutes. So we said we were going to do vendor approvals, new vendor approval workflow. And so I'm going to name it, and then I'll hit intake form. And so what we're doing here is we're creating a form to help you capture all the context you need from other teams. So in this example, when someone wants to onboard a new vendor and they want to request that new vendor be added to the system, they in Slack would launch it, they would be presented with a form, and this form's totally up to you. You decide the questions of exactly what you need. Basically, what you would normally go back and forth with them on Slack about, asking them details and questions. You can put all those questions here so they fill it out right in Slack, and then the approval is submitted to the right people. So let's create a few questions just real quick. Vendor name maybe. And you can basically pick the types of questions, whether they're short answer, long answer, select multiple people, channel, date, etc. So maybe that's our first question. Who's your vendor? Next question might be contract location. Maybe you have a box location or a shared drive location. And we'll keep this short answer, but when the person filling out the form pastes in the link or types in the link, it will automatically turn into a hyperlink when it's sent out in the approval. For the next one, let's do maybe account manager, and we'll make that select a person, and that way they can select from anyone in the organization or type their name in and add them. Maybe we'll do one more quick one, and we'll have this be due date. And we'll make this obviously a select a date. And maybe they don't all have due dates, so we'll make that one optional. So next, I'm going to go to adding an approval or a task list step. You'll see here that my form is done. I can always come back and add questions to it, edit my questions, delete the questions, and it will take effect immediately for all new requests. But what we're doing here is we're designing this new vendor approval process. So when someone submits it, they will be presented with a form, and then they're going to follow whatever pathway we want them to take. In this case, first we're going to add an approval step. So here we're designing, maybe this needs to go to managers to approve whether we're going to onboard this vendor. And we'll pick maybe Adam Long, maybe myself, and there we're both on there. And you can select whether either one of us needs to approve this. Maybe if you have multiple approvals and people are out of town, a majority, or every single approver needs to sign off. In this case, if either one of us signs off, we're going to call it good to go. And then I can pick the channel I want these approval requests to post in. In this case, this could be a new vendor channel. So I'll save that step. And so now we have a flow taking place. Someone fills out the form, then an approval is sent out. Those people that need to approve it are going to be tagged. They're going to see it in the Wrangle app. They'll also see it in the channel, and they'll get specific buttons to basically explicitly approve or reject it. And you can also have a conversation about it in the thread as well. So the next step is, do we want to add additional approvals or additional task list steps? The nice thing is you can basically combine as many of these as you want in whatever combination you want. So you can, maybe you need finance to sign off next. But in this case, let's do a task list step to show you what that looks like. So in this case, the vendor's been signed off and approved. So the next step we want is to add some tasks, and maybe this is vendor onboarding. We're going to select the channel here. The nice part is this is going to embed in the same thread, so it's going to be really easy to track. You'll have the form info, you'll have the approval, and what happened there, and then it's going to automatically, once it's approved, kick off these tasks in that same thread, so it's all together, easy to follow along without crowding your channels. So maybe this is add vendor to system, and again, we can pick whoever we want to do this. We can add multiple tasks. Maybe it's notify vendor. And for these, we'll show you in other videos, but people are going to get checkboxes to check that they've done this and that it's complete. And when it's all done, we'll notify the original requester that it's all done. So in this case, we have a completed workflow. We have a form that we collect information from them. Then we send it on for approval to specific people that we've tagged. Once they approve, there's specific tasks that go to specific people to get it done and move that task along. We could add additional steps if we wanted to, but let's go ahead and save this workflow. And you'll see that I just got notified that that workflow has been published. If I come over to messages here, I can see that, look, our vendor approval workflow has been published. And we've shared some instructions here. And this basically is a way for you to share these instructions in the channel with your coworkers to say, hey, these are the ways you can kick this workflow off. You can type workflow or Wrangle or start a workflow in the search bar up here. You can click the global shortcut here. You can type / and start typing Wrangle, or you can start a workflow by clicking the button either in your app or here in this message, and it will kick that workflow off. There's some other things you can do as well that we'll show in more detail in other videos, like monitor that workflow, even edit those steps as you go. But this covers the creation of the workflow itself. In the next 2 videos linked in the description below, I'll take you through how your team can kick this workflow off, basically what you're seeing here in these instructions, and what it would look like for them as a user. And then how managers can monitor and analyze every workflow in the company in the Wrangle app, and that way you'll make sure nothing slips through the cracks, and you can also do KPI analysis. And finally, I'll show you how to use Wrangle even to create one-off ad hoc approvals or tasks in any channel. So thanks again for trying Wrangle. We look forward to hearing what you think. Don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or feedback. Thanks again.